Hey everyone, welcome back to MetalDisciple.com's Week in Reviews. Sorry there hasn't been a weekly video these last 2 weeks. I've been keeping busy and not doing as many reviews, so it didn't really work out. But today I have a few new albums for you. This week we had albums from Heavatar, Cancer Bats, and Hanging Garden. Heavatar is a German power metal band, and Opus 1, All My Kingdoms, is their first album. What initially drew me into Heavatar was that the singer, Stefan Schmidt, is also a member of the a cappella metal band Van Canto. In Van Canto, Stefan covers the lower rakataka vocals and guitar solos. In Heavatar, he picks up an actual guitar and takes on the lead vocals. I tend to give a lot of grief to power metal bands over how cheesy and overdramatic many of them sound, but I'm loving me some Heavatar. My favorite power metal has always come from Germany, and Heavatar allows me to continue that line of thinking. If you're wondering what Heavatar might sound like, thinking of Van Canto with physical instruments in hand would be a good place to start. There are certainly differences, but both bands have that majestic, fist-pumping grandeur that inhabits the best of power metal. Of course, watching the video for the track Replica in today's playlist will also give you an idea of what they sound like. Heavatar gets my stamp of approval. Opus 1, All My Kingdoms, is a fine piece of power metal, and I am definitely a fan. Check these guys out. Back in April of 2012, I reviewed Dead Set on Living, the latest Cancer Bats album. I didn't think all that much of it. I liked it better than previous efforts, but Liam's vocals just grated on me to the point where I really couldn't commit to the band. Well, last week, Cancer Bats released a 5-song EP of Black Sabbath cover songs called Bat Sabbath, Bastards of Reality. And out of sheer morbid curiosity, I listened to some clips on iTunes. After listening to a few of the clips, I was sufficiently impressed that I ended up buying the EP. I don't know if the vocal style is evolving or if perhaps Liam is just singing differently out of respect for the classic songs they were covering, but I actually really like his voice on this EP. He still keeps an edge on his voice, but he sings deeper than what I'm used to hearing from him. And honestly, I really like it. I hope he continues singing similar to this on future Cancer Bats releases. If he does, I think they will finally convert me to a fan. I walked into this EP expecting to hear a train wreck, and came out impressed with how well they paid tribute to the original godfathers of heavy metal. The songs retain that Sabbath element that makes them so great, while also allowing the band to put their own stamp on them. Check out Bat Sabbath, Bastards of Reality, for a cool twist on some classic metal songs. Hanging Garden is a death doom band from Finland, and At Every Door is their third album. I first came across Hanging Garden during last year's great quest for all things funeral doom. These guys aren't quite funeral doom, but they came up on my discovery missions while I was using the Discover Music iPad app. I liked what I heard, so I picked up the first 2 albums. I was under the impression the band had split up, but obviously that is not the case. Listening to Hanging Garden, I found myself struggling to make a comparison with other bands in this style. In some ways, they remind me a lot of Daylight Dies, but I think Hanging Garden is perhaps a little more melodic. The next band to come to mind was November's Doom. Sound-wise, it's a pretty weak connection, but I think they're closer stylistically. The songs on At Every Door range mostly from a slow to mid-tempo speed, with lots of heavy drums and guitars. Keyboards add atmosphere and despair, while the vocals range from a deep, harsh, and cryptic growl to strong, clean, and melodic. The transitions between harsh and clean vocals are all very well done. I very much enjoyed this album. It lies right in the sweet spot of where my musical tastes are at this time, so I can't help but put all my support behind it. Make sure to give Hanging Garden a listen. Alright, that's it for this week. Check out the playlist to hear some songs from these albums. For a daily dose of Metal Disciple, check out the video series 365 Days of Metal. And why not subscribe so you can get all of this in one easy place? Makes sense to me. Anyway, take it easy. See you next time.